but he was also a monumentally stupid ass. That hadn't turned out so well for him. When all of the chosen ones had been satisfied he was as prepared as he could be, and he was on the way to the airport to catch his flight to Switzerland, he went to the hospital to say goodbye to Irving, and Dina was there. The old man struggled to communicate in words, but he made himself clear the other ways, through Dina's interpretation. Through the few instructions he could manage aloud and with gestures that indicated approval or rejection. Irving intended that she help Samuel with little reminders. Samuel thought it was a bad idea. Dina thought it was a bad idea. But for some reason, Irving was intent on getting his way. He was 94. He had fallen down the stairs, broken his hip and his shoulder, started rehab, had a small stroke, spent months in the hospital. And he was insistent on this point. Samuel gave in. Because it isn't like you have a choice. If I want to talk in your head, I will. I know the way. Knock it off. Samuel accepted his shoes back from the guard, put them on, and walked directly into the elevator. You're a mind speaker, not a mind reader. She was quiet for so long he began to relax, thinking she hadn't heard him. Then she said, You're a strong receptor. It's not like I have a choice here, he snapped back. You're a strong sender, too. Probably part of your gift. And I don't know why, but if I listen, I can hear your thoughts. Sometimes. Lately, my abilities seem to have expanded. Samuel knew what was going on, and that comprehension made him want to thump his head against the stainless steel walls of the elevator. He would have, too, except he knew the guards who observed him on the cameras would flag that behavior and escort him back down to the lobby and out the door. Dina was not only one of the others, the enemy of the chosen ones. She also shared a past with Irving, a pretty intense past, if the way those two acted proved anything. So she might be wicked. She might be cruel. She might have been stalking every single chosen for the past 2.5 years, delivering cryptic warnings into their minds and scaring the crap out of them. But because of the prophecy that affected the chosen ones, when a chosen sacrificed his or her greatest fear for true love, that love expanded his or her gifts in ways no one could have foreseen. Her talents had expanded. Not that she was chosen, quite the opposite, but the chosen ones and the others were flip sides of the same coin. All had been abandoned as infants. All had been given gifts. Some used them for good, some for evil. If Samuel needed proof that Dina loved Irving, this assistance was it. But still, it didn't mean she wasn't going to betray Samuel. Women had a history of betraying him. Or rather, one woman. Never mind her, Dina said in his mind. You can worry about her later. If I live through this, there is that. He grinned. If Dina wasn't a lying, cheating, treacherous minion of the devil, he would almost like her. She reminded him of himself. Rude, conflicted, and tainted. Tainted by birth, tainted by living, tainted by dark blemishes on their souls. No matter what they did, no matter what reparations they made, how honorably they behaved, they could never escape themselves. Chapter 2. The elevator doors opened and a man stood there, 6'6", fit, fair, and blonde, with long arms, broad shoulders, and no neck. Aldebrecht Wagner, bank president, looked like a billboard advertising the Aryan nations. 2 guards stood behind him. Samuel didn't know what purpose they accomplished. He wasn't going to attack Wagner. The guy looked like he could crush Samuel with one fist. Wagner extended his hand. In precise German-accented English, he said, Mr. Fa, how good to meet you. I'm Aldebrecht Wagner. We haven't seen anyone from the Gypsy Travel Agency for several years. In fact, we had heard reports that an explosion at the headquarters had killed everyone on their board. Samuel shook hands, did the male dominance thing by squeezing too hard and making sure his hand remained on top, and put on his solemn face. Did you? The explosion was a tragedy that deeply affected our organization. It was a non-answer, one worked out ahead of time and given Irving's nod of approval. Samuel had learned a few things about one-upmanship, and he understood Irving's position about this operation. Just in case he did.